Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today we'll be doing What If Naruto. Remember it being Ashura and therefore Hashirama in conclusion. Now, this this What If is pretty decent and just like I thought of it years ago. Oh no. Did I type it earlier? No. I thought of this like a month ago. Like 2 or 3 months. No, 5 months ago. Not just six. I don't give a fuck. But the person who did this thumbnail, because obviously this is not my style of thumbnail, but the person who did this thumbnail for me is like Rami6, or not Rami6. I'll link his channel in the description below because I'm not that good at remembering names at all. Like, but thanks, shout out to him for making this thing for me. Get into the video. This is not the platform that I wanted to do it on because, well, it turned out because some nigga. Well, no, actually, the storm came around. It's not a nigga this time, but a storm hit me in particular, and I fucked up my whole electricity up. Even a tree is outside on the ground, like it's gone. It's R.I.P. that tree. Put a comment saying rest in peace, tree. So let's get into it. Get some air in here. All right. I might put a timestamp to skip to get to the actual like to the video, but alright, let's go. So this what it starts off at, but just before Naruto goes in for like so it's the second last day of the academy. So this is before they did the test and they it's before they did the test, right? So Naruto is going on his way to school, like always, getting his usual stares of hatred from the village, like always. But today will be the last day. Naruto's life was as it was. Today from now on will permanently change his life. Normally it would have gone to canon, but it's gonna be a little different. The air in the sky was much heavier today. They even started to rain at some point, which was not very common in the village. To say that the village always had sun would be an understatement. It was literally the land of fire, so it would not too much rain was always here, but that besides the point. Naruto was on his way to school, like always, and he entered the school compound or the school area, and he went to his class where he sat down, and he went to his seat, and well, went to his seat to sit down next to Sasuke, but something different happened. Sakura came up and pushed him out of the way, making him land on the floor, completely ignoring his existence and promptly shoving him aside. Ino came along with her. Naruto got up off the ground and he dusted off his clothes, having a sad look in his eyes until he closed his eyes and his hair shot at his face. And then when he looked back up, he had a bright smile, and with his per what's called it now, pearl pearly white teeth and his deep blue eyes. This made when three girls in the class saw him blush. One of them had black, blackish purplish hair with eyes that almost looked like if she was blind, but this was the signature eyes of the Hyuga clan. The other had blue hair and orange eyes and had a flower made out of what looked like paper on the top of her head. Then there was another person, a person with brown hair and the same eyes, with as the girl with the purplish and blackish hair. They were almost look like twins, but you could see the differences between two of them. And these girls were Hinata Hyuga, what's called Konan Yawazuki, and um Hinabi Hyuga. Naruto sit right in front of the table, with the girls being mad at Sakura for shoving their dear Naruto. But Naruto paid no attention to this and just locked off in class, being still being in his depressing mood, but hiding it behind a smile. Naruto would go back. Oh, the day would go on. Sorry, day would go on in the academy as usual, or as per usual. But for some reason, it felt a little bit worse for him. He tried to talk to Sakura today, but Sakura punched him and told him that to stop bothering her and that she doesn't like him. Now, Naruto is nothing like he was in canon. He does not like Sakura, but there's a reason he is talking to her or is attempting to talk to her. Now, when Naruto was a kid and he saw Sakura, Sakura was being bullied for her hair, or well, not her hair, but her forehead, and he cornered this like how everyone used to treat him, ostracized her because of her big forehead and teased her because of her forehead, right? So he kind of stupidly made a connection like that and saw it as his something, some piece of his pain or whatever. And he wanted to be friends with Sakura. Like he didn't feel any no romantic feelings towards her. At least he didn't at this point, because to say he never had would that should be a complete lie. But he got over it after a few years. After she met Sasuke, this all changed. Her whole entire personality changed in its entirety, and she got a little bit more cocky. But Naruto didn't care. So he sat, and the day goes on by, and he's on his way home with his normal cheer and peppy mood. But we all know that that is actually not his real face or his real emotion in general. So Naruto knows shit. Ugh, knows that today is the graduation exams for him in particular, and all tomorrow. But he knows he's going to fail, so what's the point? He'll just stay back another year. He's really given up on being a ninja in its entirety, but he stays in because of one thing. He kind of needs to have to. And what do you mean by he has to? Now you see, the Jinchuriki of the village needs to pass. Like he needs to be a ninja, no matter. But Hiruzen's not like the other Kage. The other Kage would have given it up by now and say, "Well, fuck, become a Genin, nigga. Here's the headband. Go on." But Hiruzen's like, "Yo, I don't give a fuck. He's gonna stay into this like academy shit until he passes." And don't get me wrong, this is not out of kindness, bro. If you already know where this is going down, and yeah, we all know the route this shit is going down. So to Naruto. We go over to Naruto, and Naruto's going back into his like class, right? And I'm not going back to his apartment, alright. So where he opens the door, and it's surprisingly clean. It's very very small. It was smaller than it is in canon, but he made it work. He had a bookshelf in the corner, his table in the middle of the room, with his bed on the side, is the fridge nearby the door. Then the cupboards and the glasses were all cleaned and washed, and his clothes was neatly packed up in a place. So this Naruto is cleaner than the one in canon. So he closed the door and he put down his bag and he went to bed that day. Now let's take a little history exam or history test in the terms of the ninja world and what exactly happened. Now we flash back thousands of years prior to this moment. where we see Ashura and Indra as kids, right? And Ashura is talking to Indra, and they are fighting. Well, not fighting like in fighting, like I hate you though. They're fighting like in sparring sessions. This is the point where Indra has his Sharingan, so he doesn't have any powers or no jutsu powers. But they are fighting on this particular day, and he kicks Indra kicks Ashura with a chocolate hand cake, which he didn't mean to do, and it threw him through the wall. This is where Haguma got up and was running to Ashura, and Indra was doing the same because remember this is prior from them hating each other. And but Indra didn't Ashura didn't hit the ground, but something different. He had a golden aurora around him, and chains were spewing out of his back. Golden chains were spewing out of his back, to be Pacific. And he had his eyes were now different. His eyes were completely gold, with rings surrounding the pupil. Kagro said the Renekon, but that can't be possible. It's not the way it should be. And it's the Renekon of it's the Renekon. Don't get it twisted, but it's different. To say it's weaker wouldn't be right, but to say does have extra abilities and kind of different. So guys, if so, what if you guys want his? So I'm gonna give you a chance, right? I'm not gonna give you all the abilities of the Renegade. So, but let me put on a basis, right? It's when you put down abilities for this new dojutsu, the Golden Renegade. I'm gonna call it just Golden Renegade. Put on jutsu that makes sense for the Uzumaki clan. Just don't put on some random ass jutsu like Dimbo. No, I'm not gonna do that. Just give him a jutsu that makes sense for the clan in its entirety, right? So like something have to do with gold or red. So it's something like that, right? So yeah, I got to make the decision. So yeah, so Ashura looked up at his brother in somewhat of a rage, and then put his hand forwards, shooting the chains towards Indra. Indra backflipped about 4 times to miss the chains, but he realized they were really quickly. But then he didn't expect the chains to also come back out of the ground to chase him again. So he got tangled up in the chains, and this is where Hagurama or the sadistic past like had to like go had to make Ashura like let the fuck go, and he calmed down Ashura. Well, no, Indra calmed down Ashura and told him that it was okay, that he's sorry, and this is where he calmed down, and finally his Renegade turned off. Ashura was really proud of his sons for like, although Ashura Indra like fucked them up. Ashura got him mad, and he was right to do so, but he calmed down quickly when he realized that Indra didn't mean it. So everything from there went on into canon, and now we go back to Naruto. Naruto is on his bed sleeping in a deep, deep dream. He goes into his dream and he's just floating around in this endless pool of water. But this is where everything freezes. The water freezes. The fish that was in the water completely frozen in time. You cannot hear a single thing moving. Dead silent. Naruto tries to move, but he can't. But for some reason, the water put him up straight, and then everything turned to white, completely blank. And he started to walk around, but then it all started to crack. You could see the walls, although he didn't know they were there, but everything around him cracking, and it all finally shattered. When shattering, the glass came down, and Naruto looked up, still not understanding where he was until boom. Then boom, 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 until like something was coming to him, and then it hit him. a flood of memories. He could see Ashura fighting Indra, his but there was something weird. Ashura's face was blurred out, just to the point where you couldn't even depict it. You could only see the frame of his body. He wielded the sword, and this is where he jumped back and sent pillars of wood towards him, but then shot chains towards him too, and sticked out his hand and said, "Almighty push," and it pushed him back. This is where we see Ashura take two shrieking arrows and shoot it at Indra, but Indra blocked all of them with his sun, except the true shooting arrows. He had to actually dodge those, and Indra commended his brother for being so strong, but he says, "But you're not as strong as me yet," and they are still fighting. Then we move on to another memory with Hashirama and Madara, of them fighting, and Naruto is just looking at this and he's like, "What is going on?" And it keeps on flashing both of Hashirama's and Ashura's memories is flashing towards him. How to use Wasta, how to use the chakra chains, how different techniques, senjutsu, taijutsu stances, and like a bunch of other stuff, jutsu in general, genjutsu, taijutsu, everything. And his brain is just fuck. Like it's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And Naruto's brain capacity isn't that strong, but his brain is learning how to adapt right now. It's like, yo, I'm gonna break myself to put myself back together. Cause it's like, yo, all these memories was not made for his brain. Like it was not made for this to happen right now. But it happened because that's how it was supposed to happen, right? So Naruto's chakra had to change. It became a deep, deep midnight blue color, and his body also changed. His hair became longer. Actually, looking like the. I'll show you a picture in like the community tab or something, or even in my Discord. Like I'm gonna do that. But to put it slightly, he now has Minato's haircut, and he has Minato's haircut, but it's different. Yeah, yeah. In the middle of his like hair, he has a strand of red hair, also obviously from his mother, and something's happened in the village that hasn't happened in years. The trees in the village had just been growing rapidly, like new trees coming out of the ground for no reason, and everyone's like, "What the hell? What's going on?" But it's noticeable, but it's not unnerving. Like it's not breaking anything. It's just noticeable that it's happening. And Naruto's chakra chains got out his back. Now, these are a combination of his mother's and his chains. Because if he didn't know, Naruto. Well, no, I'm just making Naruto chains. You can get those mothers later. I don't give a fuck. So Naruto's chains are coming out his back, but they culminating a golden aura off of them. But it started to change. It became a blood red color with black aura coming off of it. This is also obviously from the Kyuubi's influence, or the Kyuubi chakra interacting with his chakra, also influencing his Kekkei Genkai. Naruto's features started to change. The whisker became more darker around, actually making him pretty handsome. It suited him well. It wasn't something that didn't suit him. It fit him perfectly actually. His came more darker, and it made him look better, right? And Naruto's body began to change. It began to grow to normal height for his age, and his abs started to come in, like abs from well, we all know, we all knew the niggas had abs for days, and he waked up after the dream with a cold sweat, with his body being engulfed with a lot of sweat. But he saw one particular memory that he really wanted to try out, because it seemed like it was all real, like he was living in his past lives, and he read about this, like shinobi saying that they've lived a past life of this great nigga, like this great shinobi, and that why they're great shinobi. So he was like, yo, I want to be like this nigga. He's like, yo, I'm trying to be a great shinobi too. So he goes into his kitchen, right, and he says he starts focusing chakra, realizing his chakra control became way better than it's supposed to be. But yeah, and he puts out his hands and says, "Creation of all things technique." And this is where a jacket, a grayish hoodie, well, no, a hoodie jacket, whatever, a short sleeve hoodie, right, and a skin tight shirt comes, right. So he takes off of his clothing. I don't know. He only had on like a cloak, a shirt, and a pants, right? A short pants and a shirt, right? So he took off that and he put on his new clothes of sorts, right? And no. Sorry, I made a mistake. That's for another what if. That fit is for another what if. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. So there's a he has a pitch black hoodie, right, with bandages on the side, right, with a with a short with the short gray pants with the Uzumaki symbol on the side of the pants, with some shinobi shoes and more bandages. So he's like, damn, it do I have what style? And he starts doing some hand signs, and a tree sprouts, a small tree, but a tree in exact, comes out of the ground, and he picks it up and just like, yo, I have wood style. But he failed to notice his chakra chains swinging all over the room. Like, he hasn't noticed that they're out yet until it hit something, and he looks over and he saw chains are coming my chakra chains, and he's just like trying to reel them back in because they're actually getting a little destructive at this point. They're starting to fuck him up. So he's like, yo, come back into my body, nigga. And they retrieve back into his body because he couldn't control them as well as he thought he could. But it's progress. And he's like using them, swinging. He's using them, and he decides to put on his new fit and go out for school. And we skip to the Hokage. Hokage is sorting out teams. If they pass, getting them off the teams, getting out early. And he goes to Naruto, Sasuke, and Conan, I know, Kiba. They are all cells. He's gonna put them as two cells because he doesn't believe Naruto's gonna pass like every other year. And to be quite honest, he doesn't really care because the third Hokage gave up on Naruto a long time ago. He thought he was gonna be by his father, but he never ended up being like him. So he gave up on Naruto, sent him to the orphanage, and then he realized I can't send him there. He might turn against the village, blah blah, and he gave him his own apartment, which ironically would have also made him go to the village. It's all fuckload of shit that I don't feel like going into right now. So, but in the case that he does pass, he's just gonna put him as a one-man team as a reserve, or let him do his own fucking missions. He doesn't really care about Naruto anymore. He's like, yo, he's just a waste of space at this point. And this is where I'm gonna end up this video though, because yeah, my battery is like fucking me. Anyways, so this is the end of the video. I'm gonna probably post a part two like in the next few days or hours or something. I'm currently making more thumbnails. Like I'm redoing thumbnails because I didn't like how they looked, so I'm just redoing some thumbnails. So yeah, that's it, bro. Like that's it. Oh, and I'm on out something. I'm on out something, right? I'm doing a movie. Like, what if Naruto was banished from the Hidden Leaf Village? Movie. So it's gonna be one part. Like, it's no gonna be part one, part two. No, there's gonna be one part, and then then from there it's gonna be the Boruto series, which I'm gonna upload monthly or weekly. So yeah. So guys, I don't want to spoil anything for that video, so that's just gonna kind of it. But I just think I should have told you, and I was planning to do what if Naruto gave up on like Sasuke and stuff, but I'll see if I find the like thumbnail for that. Yeah, I'm also doing What If Asta. I forgot about this. Damn. What if Asta was Hashram and Madara? I am doing that. I am doing that, but not obviously not right now because well, bitch, who the fuck do I look like? Oh, and I did a video on this, but obviously it's not posted. What if Deku had cremation explosions? Tell me guys, like, do you want this? Like, do you want the sauce that this nigga's about to have? Like, do you want the Black Force energy this nigga's gonna have? Like, he's like, hey, fuck y'all niggas, but he's gonna be like, yo, I'm that nigga, right? And no one's that nigga but me. He's gonna be like that. So he's gonna be cocky, but he's not gonna be overly cocky like Bakugo. He knows people out there stronger than him, and he doesn't really. He encourages the challenge, bro. He's like, hey, if you wanna fight me, fuck then, let's fight, nigga. So yeah, that's how he is, just in a nutshell. This was the original, like, fucking original thumbnail, also made by whose name again? Whose name again? Ram. Say, I'm gonna put his channel in the description, bro. I'm not about to remember all of that. This is up here. No shit. I've been doing shit. You know what? I'm gonna go look for it. So I was going. If you guys want me to bring this back, he's like, yo, Ariel is like, yo, Naruto. I mean, what if Senpai? Bring back this series, like, bro. Give us this series. Fuck all your series, nigga. Give me this here. I will, without hesitation, give you what you want. I'll hesitate. I would even take a second, bro. I'm gonna give it to you. But this is the end of the video, guys. See you. Have a peaceful day. Cause who gonna wish hate on no one? See you, niggas.